Hello everybody, this is your weather woman, meteorologist Amy Metz. I am going to talk real quick here about Hurricane Idalia. This is going to be making a landfall in Florida on Wednesday morning. Tuesday night, things are going to get very strong, whereas our Hurricane Franklin further off to the east is going to remain at sea, be a bother for Bermuda, and probably head off to the UK with a lot of moisture, but all in all, not doing so much damage there. However, Cuba is first in line here for a close brush by with this storm. However, wind speeds are not as strong right now, and they won't be as this storm passes Cuba. Still, 75-mile-per-hour winds, that is hurricane status. 74 miles per hour is where we begin that Category 1 threshold, but Category 3 starts at 115 miles per hour, so that's what we're looking at for the forecast track. Now, if this gets a little bit stronger than 115 miles per hour, don't be too surprised, but I don't think this is going to be a Category 4 like we saw last year a little bit further to the south with Hurricane Ian. So unfortunately, I do believe this track is going to be very similar to this landfall, not too far off from being near Gainesville, Florida, with a lot of those heavy rains and winds as the storm is calming down. By the time it gets to the other side of Florida, onto the East Coast, we will have some more tropical storm-like conditions, but it won't be as strong with the wind speed. So we will have some shingle damage, a lot of flooding, a lot of rooftop damages, trees blown over completely onto homes. That's going to be on the area I'm circling now into Florida. So really anywhere within that forecast zone has the chance for some tornadoes as well. So that can do their own damage paths within these storm bands that I'm now kind of outlining here, these outer bands we call them. Within those storms, we could still be seeing some tornadoes even within these next couple of days before landfall. So the yellow here represents the dry air. We don't have a lot of that interacting with Idalia, but there is some, so that will keep it weakening. But what we see with this churning closer to Florida does kind of tell us that we are going to have a good chance of this storm getting stronger before this landfall. That does happen often in the open waters of the Gulf, especially when we don't have a lot of wind shear. So we don't right now. I'm going to leave this streaming on my YouTube page, cut this video now so that you have a bit of a forecast there, but just know that we have Franklin heading off, not doing much more than causing some thunderstorms in the UK next week. Of course, Bermuda first in line, but otherwise Idalia is what's going to be doing a lot of damage with storm surge. That's flooding along the coastlines anywhere east and south of the eye wall, which would be that center of the low. And other than that, anywhere, even before that, can be getting damages with tornadoes where we do have this thunderstorms popping up. So I will end real quick then on windy.com to show you where those storms are right now ahead of Idalia. I'm in Southern California right now, so I'll not be able to chase this storm like I would like to, but duty calls here, and so I am with family for a funeral at the moment. But we have these thunderstorms already developing in Florida, and this is part of that moisture outer band that is starting to form from Hurricane Idalia. So Miami, Boca Raton, all of these cities here, this is moving toward the north, anywhere a little bit north. These are the places that we could be having the severe thunderstorms today, and mostly tomorrow and into Wednesday is where that tornado threat really jumps up with storm cells that will be looking similar to that. So do be safe. Please have some, proper precautions. If you are anywhere in Florida here, just know if maybe you should be leaving your Sarasota beach home, for instance, because you don't have the sandbags up, or even if you have sandbags for some of these flooding events that are going to happen. I'll zoom in real close because there's a lot of internal waterways. When that water gets pushed up as the storm surge comes closer to here, we're going to be having some areas. If this is north of Tampa, which is possible, then we are going to be having a lot of extra water around these areas. And that's going to be flooding over into homes in many cases and into neighborhoods, along with heavy downpours from storm clusters looking like this. When those two things happen at the same time, which is very likely with this storm on Tuesday night especially, you won't want to be around these homes to find that water coming into your house as you wake up Wednesday morning earlier than you wanted. So if you can avoid being in some of those low-lying areas where we do know it's going to flood, I would advise staying somewhere else if that's possible, or at least making sure you're safe on an upper top of your home, plenty of water in case you can't leave for a few days or don't have power. Those are what you want to prepare for. So I'll be posting more information about that on my page. That would be facebook.com/theworldofweather. You can find me there. So it looks like this. If you want to go ahead and get more info, in fact, I had posted days ago a track that looks a lot like this. Days ago, I had been thinking that that would landfall on this area where we had tracks at that time in the western portion of Florida. So I'll continue forecasting this for you and leaving this streaming with nonstop coverage in this way so that people who end up losing power later can still have access to some of these wind speed data and to know where the storm is at the time and where it's going to be going. So I'll leave this streaming on my YouTube channels. You can always find it there, Weather Woman Amy Metz YouTube. But I'm going to cut this one short now so that this forecast video can be living here and staying here. Everybody, please do prepare along the coast in this red zone for flooding, and also don't forget tornadoes can be popping up along any parts of North Dakota, even into the Carolinas as we head into the next couple of days. That would include southern Georgia as well for Wednesday and Thursday with tornadoes in this area toward the north. So best wishes to everybody. Please stay safe, and I'll catch you all later.